Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Whitney, and we are still in our funnel series. So, this is part 4 of our series all about funnels, specifically lead generation funnels to bring more leads into your business so that you can nurture them and invite them to be clients. So, we have been covering what is a lead gen funnel, what are the parts of it. And last episode, I talked about your lead magnet and really digging into that. So if you have missed any of the prior episodes, if you missed the blueprint that I have for you that actually details out and helps you plan out each part of your funnel, make sure you go listen to those other episodes too to catch up. But today we are really going to be diving into the welcome sequence. And as I am calling this episode, don't F up the follow up. Before we get into all of that, though, I want to share something I'm really excited about. Last time I did mention that we have a service that we are rolling out, and today I'm excited to tell you all about it. So, a few months ago, just some context here. So, we surveyed our audience, maybe you had been one of our respondents too, and asked what was holding practitioners back, what was holding everyone back with their marketing. And a lot of our audience shared that they need help with implementation. And it's something I hear a lot. People saying some version of, Whitney, yeah, I want a funnel. I want my email marketing set up. I want a lead magnet. All of this makes a lot of sense. I just don't have the time or the technical skills to build it all out. It's like a whole foreign language to me. And I get it. I hear that. This stuff does take time, takes your brain power. And then it's also just like a very specific set of skills to do this and get it done well as well. So I totally hear that. So my team and I have been quietly building something in the background here, and now we are officially ready to launch it. It's called the Done For You funnel. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So we build your entire funnel, your whole lead gen funnel for you from scratch in under a month so you can start getting leads without having to touch any of this yourself. So here's what's included. So we create or refine your lead magnet. So if you don't have a lead magnet yet, we'll create that for you from the concept of what it should be, what should be included in it, to designing it and actually giving it to you. Or if you already have a lead magnet, but you're not sure, you listened to last episode, you're not sure if it's really good enough, we will take a look at your lead magnet, suggest improvements, make those improvements, and get that lead magnet ready for you. And then we're also going to write and build your opt-in page for your lead magnet, your thank you page that we've talked about, that important confirmation page, your delivery email, and your full welcome sequence emails. And we are going to set it all up in your email service provider as well. So you are not going to have to deal with any of the tech. We are doing the conceptualization, the strategy behind the funnel, the actual creation of everything, the design, the copywriting, and then also the technical setup of all of it, because I really don't want to give you something like half baked. Like this is full, everything. We are doing everything for you, done for you. And then just one more piece that we're going to add on here. It's the icing on the cake. We are going to build, write, and launch a Facebook and Instagram ad campaign to drive traffic to your funnel and your lead magnet. Because a funnel with no traffic is just a pretty page sitting there doing nothing. We'll be talking about ways to drive traffic to your funnel in one of our last episodes here in this sequence. But that is something that's really important. And ads is just such a great way to speed up the process of getting more traffic into your funnel. And low-cost ads are a great way to do it because it's getting your lead magnet in front of new people every single day. And we've actually already beta tested this service with a few practitioners, and they are already getting leads. So I want to tell you about one of them. So Heather, a kidney health dietitian, she's actually been on the podcast before. She's wonderful and does great work. She is bringing in around 50 new subscribers a week for under 50 cents each. So those are amazing numbers in terms of the cost per lead. And that's with $5 a day in ad spend. So she is not spending a whole lot on these ads, and she's getting 50 new leads every single week onto her email list. And think about that. That is having 50 new people, not just seeing your content, seeing your posts, liking your posts, not 50 new people visiting your website and then leaving. This is 50 people actually joining your email list and getting a resource and getting emails from you directly. And you literally didn't have to do anything because it was ads. You just had to spend $5 a day. So we are offering this right now at our introductory price for this new service for $12.97. So $1,297 to get everything that I just talked about. We have only 6 spots available for this because this is definitely an intro price. After those 6 spots fill, we will be increasing the price. So if this sounds like something that you have been waiting for, you would really love my eyes and my team's eyes on it. So Priscilla, if you listen to some of our ad podcasts a couple weeks ago, Priscilla is my OBM ad strategist and just does a lot. We work very closely in my business together. So she and I will be building your funnel together. So if you would like us to just take all of it off of your hands and build it for you, then go to whitneybateson.com/DFY funnel. So done for you funnel, DFY funnel. And you can claim your spot right there on the page. Or if you do want to chat with me and make sure that this is the right fit for you, you have everything that we would need in order to move forward on this, then feel free to book a free 20-minute call with me. That's on the page too. So you can do that so we can have a chat. If you book that call, that is reserving that spot, that one of 6 spots. If you book a call with me and you choose to move forward, that spot is definitely yours. So let's get into today's episode now and talk through your welcome sequence and this follow-up, this all-important follow-up. Let's say you have your lead magnet up, someone downloads it, someone downloads your freebie. This is the warmest moment so far in the entire relationship. So we talked about warm leads versus cold leads, and most people out there are strangers to you. They do not know you. They are very cold. They don't trust you yet. They don't know what you do. They don't know anything about your expertise. That's fine. That's normal. That's what happens. But once they are opting in, they are becoming warmer. So this is the first warm spot in the relationship. They just raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested in what you do. I trust you enough to actually want to receive a resource from you and spend my time going through it and looking at it. What most practitioners do next with this in this situation, they send the delivery email. They send the email that gives the lead magnet to the person, and then nothing else. So they focus on, okay, I did the lead magnet. My job is done. Or they don't do anything for 3 months until the next newsletter goes out. So people are coming onto the list and nothing is happening. And that silence after the download is really where so many lead gen funnels leak, where potential clients are getting abandoned and they are going and finding someone else to work with. So today we're going to be fixing that by making sure that you have a really great welcome sequence in place and something that's automated and working, so you don't have to feel like this is going to take a ton of extra time. You're going to set it up once and then it's going to keep running and then it's going to be doing this job for you. Now, before we get into the welcome sequence, I want to clarify the difference between a welcome email sequence and a sales email sequence. They are 2 very different things and they do different jobs. So a welcome sequence, this is what you set up for your main lead magnet, this lead gen welcome sequence. It's automated, it runs for everyone who opts in and requests the download, and its job is to warm people up to you, not necessarily to close them on an offer or a service. So you're helping people in this sequence get to know you, to trust you, to understand what you do, what you're about. They're getting to know you. You can mention your services, and I will be talking through how to do that in a natural way. You are going to invite them to book a call if they are right now looking for someone to help them. But the expectation in this kind of sequence is that most people aren't ready yet. And that's totally fine. That's why I'm calling it a lead generation funnel. We are just getting leads onto your email list. They are not yet people who are going to be making a purchase. Now, there will be a few as time goes on that do book a call right away in that sequence, and that's wonderful. But for the majority of people, that's not going to happen yet. So what happens with this welcome sequence is that it feeds into your ongoing email list, and over time, those people will be ready. Of course, some people will unsubscribe and leave, but you're always bringing new people into your email list as well. And so this is going to be an ongoing process. We talked about how people usually need some time in order to really decide to work with a practitioner and really build that trust that they need before they move forward. So that's fine. That's why we're having this sequence and we're doing lead generation, not direct to book this service. Now, if you're like, Whitney, you talked about how I do need to have a goal for my funnel here. I need to decide what service this funnel is going to lead towards. You still need to have that in place because there has to be some endpoint. There has to be some point to the funnel, but we're not necessarily expecting everyone to book calls straight away. We're not measuring the success of the funnel necessarily by how many sales it generates versus a sales funnel. So a sales funnel or a sales email sequence specifically is completely different. So this is targeted towards making a sale. It is time limited. It is urgency driven. It is built around one specific offer with a deadline and an incentive. And that's really a whole nother episode to go into that. But basically, in that kind of sequence, you are maybe going to spend a little bit of time in the beginning helping people consume whatever resource, whether it's a webinar or it is that lead magnet or something like that, to talk about that a little bit. But then you're going to shift in that email sequence to really talking about that service, that offer, what's included, how it works, overcoming objections. There's going to be more emails included in that. They're going to happen more quickly. And you are going to be giving people a limited time offer to make a decision to actually buy within that sequence. So that is a sales funnel, a sales sequence. Like I said, whole nother episode. Happy to talk through it at another time. But today is all about the welcome sequence. And this is the one that every single one of you should have running right now in your business. And so that's why it's really important to be talking about it, because whether you are offering consulting services or one-to-one or insurance-based or self-pay or group programs or small digital offers or a course, a welcome sequence for whatever lead magnet you have that is bringing people onto your list to eventually have them purchase and move forward with whatever it is you're offering, this is going to be something that you should have. All right, now let's talk through, before I get into each of the emails, so there are 5 emails that I'm going to outline for you and give you advice for what the topic and theme of that email should be, what it should include, what's the purpose of it, and the sequencing of it, like when it should happen, what delay should happen between those emails. So I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk through the psychology behind a welcome sequence and why it is something that is so critical to have as part of our marketing strategy and our marketing system that we're setting up in our business. So there is a reason why this welcome sequence needs to happen immediately and why it needs to be more than one email. It's not about just being helpful. There is actual sales psychology and buyer psychology behind it. So people that are making high trust purchases, which for all of you, whether it's hiring a dietitian or working with a therapist or hiring some other kind of health practitioner or coach, they are making that decision after they have had enough touch points to feel like they know you. And think about if you were to hire someone yourself, you often don't hire that very first person that you find on that very first time that you learn about them. You read their content, you follow them a bit, you start to feel like you get their vibe, you understand more about them, you like what they are saying, you resonate with it, and then you say, okay, this is my person. So we need all of that stuff. So your welcome sequence is engineering that process deliberately instead of leaving it to chance and hoping that people will see all these different pieces of content that eventually create enough trust for them to move forward. So like I mentioned, the goal in these emails is not to sell necessarily. The goal is to compress the time frame and the timeline from stranger to warm lead. So to give someone in 2 weeks what might have otherwise taken 6 months of someone occasionally seeing your content to build up and develop. Because remember, they are the most interested and engaged when they download your resource. They will be more apt to be checking out your emails, wanting to consume and read what you're sharing with them, because they want to hear from you. They want to learn from you. They're excited. They just found someone and found this resource that could actually finally help them and solve a problem that they have. So they're excited. They want to hear from you. So you need to be doing that. And this is a great opportunity to be doing that right in the beginning of the relationship. So we want to be doing that. And the other opportunity here is that you are going to be talking about how you help, what it looks like to move forward with you, what's available for them, whether it's booking a call or applying or whatever, sending you an email. This is opening that door and giving that initial pitch and offer of what you do. It's not a hard sell. It's just a mention of what you do. And this way, it's just planting that seed. And like I said, we're not expecting everyone to move forward right at this point, but it is important for people to see your offer and hear about your offer multiple times. We're all busy, we forget about things, or we need to hear things from different angles. So it's really important to be early on saying what it is that you actually can help people with, because they may need to hear about it a few times before it actually clicks and they're like, oh yeah, that is something that I need, and she or he is the perfect one to help me with that. So each email is going to be doing a specific psychological job. It's going to be establishing credibility. It's going to be building connection, demonstrating value, and really creating those conditions where your offer or your service feels obvious when they eventually do see it and hear about it. And all of this needs to start immediately within minutes of someone downloading, because that is that moment of highest interest and attention. Okay, so hopefully I've convinced you how important this is, and this is something that's worth looking at and putting together. If you don't have one, then take notes as I walk you through what the emails should be. It's 5 emails, and I'm going to tell you what they should include and when you should sequence them out in your email provider. And if you already have a welcome sequence, then this is just a good opportunity to go and revisit it and make sure that it's hitting all of these marks. If you have a welcome sequence already that is longer than this, don't feel that you need to shorten it. I think a longer welcome sequence is always great, but I also want it to be manageable. From personal experience, I spent way too long writing my first welcome sequence. And then another time I was working on a welcome sequence, and I think it was like 10 or 13 emails long, and it just didn't get written. My clients often hear this from me, and I think I share it on the podcast too. Done is better than perfect. And having something launched is much better than having it sit and never get done. I talk a lot about that when it comes to people's websites, and you can always continue to add and tweak and change after it goes live. We just want to get it up and get it launched. So please try to release perfectionism here as we talk through this. The emails don't need to be really long. They don't need to be overly contrived or professional or anything like that. We are just trying to actually help people connect with you. All right, let's get into the emails now. So the first email, pretty simple and easy, is the delivery and welcome email. So we want to have your email provider immediately trigger and send the opt-in to them, the resource. So you're delivering the freebie, but we want to make sure that this is not just a transactional, okay, here's your resource, goodbye. This is a first impression. So we want to have just a few sentences about who you are, why you created this resource, what it is you do. Because remember, just because someone downloaded this resource doesn't mean, especially if they're doing it from an ad, for example, they don't have a lot of context around you. They literally just got this download. And if this email is sending them the download, they also haven't opened the download yet to learn anything about you. So we want this email to be starting to explain who you are and how you can help them and what you're about, because you shouldn't assume that they already saw that or know that from anything that caused them to opt in. So it's important to give that information. Doesn't have to be super long. The next email will go into a bit more depth and I'll talk through that. But we definitely want to do that. We're setting the stage. We want it to feel warm and human. We don't want it to be robotic. This is just a quick note from you. So the job of email number 1 is to deliver the goods and make people feel like they landed somewhere good and worthwhile, and yes, this is the place that you should be, you're going to get some good stuff out of this. Okay, so that's email 1. And that should happen, like I mentioned, immediately. Trigger immediately to send that resource to the subscriber. Now, email 2 is your story and your why. And I would recommend having this be on a delay to either send the next day. I would actually, not either. I would have this send the next day. So have a delay of 24 hours in your email platform and then have this triggered to send the next day. Because again, this is that immediate moment where someone downloaded something, they are much more attentive to their inbox right now and seeing your name. And so seeing that is going to probably cause them to open that email. So we want to send them something right away. So this email is where we are building really the human connection piece and talking about why you do this work, what it is you do. This is not your full bio or your resume or all of your professional credentials. This is really the thing that actually drives you, and talking about the moment that you knew that this was your work. This was what you wanted to focus on, this population, this specialization, this issue. And for practitioners, this is usually pretty powerful because 9 times out of 10, there is some personal connection to the work. There is some reason why you picked wanting to work on fertility or family planning or sports nutrition or eating disorder recovery or picky eating for toddlers or PCOS. The list goes on. There's usually some reason. And don't feel, this goes outside of just the email stuff, don't feel that you have to have experienced the condition yourself in order to have that story. There's some reason you picked it. Either you knew someone about it, or when you were doing your coursework or some clinical work, you found that this was an area that you really felt passionately about and really had some calling to do it. So your story matters, your why matters. It doesn't matter if you've lived this specifically, okay? So I still want you to feel like you have plenty of content to put into an email like this. Your story is what's going to resonate with your ideal clients. And what I would also recommend as a little bonus in this email too is to refer to some other helpful resources. And so it's like a little bonus. Okay, you're sharing your story and your why. They just got this resource from you, but now you're actually sharing a few other things that you have found really helpful for other clients, or a recent blog post or a podcast that you've been on. It could be just one other helpful resource, or it could be a list of some of your top resources or podcasts or blog posts that would be something relevant to this person who is now on your email list. You could also link again to the resource, even as in a PS, to just say, hey, remember, did you download it yet? Make sure to download it. Here's the link to it again, because there's a lot of emails coming through, they're forgetting stuff. So that's helpful as well. So the job of this email is to make your new subscribers feel like they know you, not just know of you, that they really know you and what makes you tick as a person, because people hire people. They don't hire just credentials or some random guru online. They really want to know that underlying story, especially these days, like trust online. There's just so many people shilling all sorts of stuff that is not helpful and not relevant. And so we really want to make sure people know that you are the real deal. You're a real human and you are very passionate about the work, and that they can trust that the things that you send them and share with them are going to actually be valuable. Okay, so that's email 2. Email 3. Now this one, you could have a bit of a delay on this. I would say maybe delay 2 days after this. So it's, if you're sending like day 0 and then day 1, this could be on day 3, probably. You could potentially do day 4 if you wanted to. I would also say that if you want, in some email providers, you can have it skip weekends. So you could also just say, okay, have this delay, but also don't send on a Saturday or a Sunday, which I think is generally good for a welcome sequence. if any of you are on my email list, when I'm going through a launch and actually doing a sales sequence, I am sometimes emailing on Saturdays and Sundays just to get all the information in there. And some people are looking at their email and reading their inbox on those days too. So I think that's totally fine. But in this instance, I don't think there needs to be such a rush to get the content to folks. So I think skipping the weekends is totally fine. Okay, so email 3 is some practical insight or common mistake. So this is really purely a value email. Now, up to this point, you have been giving value. You gave them the resource. You shared a personal story about yourself. That was about you, but it was helping them. But this one is really about, okay, let me give some additional value so that they are feeling like, wow, she's really sharing a lot with me. This is really great. So we want to give them something genuinely useful, whether it's a tip, a reframe, a thing people get wrong as they start trying to address the problem. And we want this directly tied to your freebie or lead magnet, whatever topic the lead magnet was about. It's a good idea to just make it relevant to the topic at hand. And this also does not need to be long. This could be something really small. I think we have to remind ourselves that we are the experts. We know so much. So I think we sometimes feel that we need to give so much when it comes to teaching someone about something. I am probably guilty of it too, because I make these podcasts really long and talk about a lot of stuff. But a lot of people are just getting started. And so just one small tip or small reframe can actually be more powerful than a really long email that is detailing a complex topic that could be a blog post in and of itself. So keep that in mind. We don't want this to be overly long and detailed, and really rely heavily on that resource, because that resource that you created probably already has a lot of content in it. And so now you can just give them a little bit more of, okay, a small tip or something about even one aspect of that resource. So that's something to think about there. I would remind them about the resource, link to it again in case they haven't downloaded it yet. And so the whole point of this email is really to have your expertise on display. You are not teaching everything, but you are just showing them that you see things that other people don't see. And you're more than just the generic advice that they can get online or get from ChatGPT. So I would make sure that this is something that is really unique and not commonly shared out there. Maybe it's something that you just find a lot of clients struggle with, and it's one of the main things that you work on with people, or that has usually, when you've shared it with clients, been really powerful and impactful. So that is going to be something really important and helpful to share in this email. So the job of this email, you are building credibility. You are demonstrating that working with you would be valuable and not just some generic advice they can get anywhere. And honestly, people should be finishing this email and thinking, wow, she really knows her stuff. This is good. This was really helpful. So that is the point of email 3, value. Now we are going to shift into talking about your services a bit more. So email 4 is going to be introducing your offer, but not in a in-your-face kind of way. So what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be introducing it naturally as the next logical step for them. Because remember, in last episode, we talked about designing your lead magnet to be that initial step, and that it should be leading into the next step of actually working with you and whatever program or offering you have, and how they can go deeper and really implement whatever it is you put in this resource. So if you've put together your lead magnet in that way, this should be pretty easy to do in this email, and it should feel pretty natural to say, okay, here's the continuation. And I would even look at your lead magnet, look at how you worded that last page, that call to action page in your lead magnet, and then use that as inspiration, maybe even use some of that same wording and phrasing in this email. So it doesn't have to feel like a very big, long sales email. It's really just almost taking that page from your lead magnet and putting it into an email, because we know not everyone's downloading the lead magnet, not everyone's looking through every page, and we do want to expose everyone to the work that you actually do and how you can help them in a way that doesn't feel pushy. It's just helpful, because at the end of the day, you want to help people. They need to know about how you help them. So we need to put it in an email. I think a lot of folks feel that they don't want to be too salesy or pushy and all of that. But if you don't ask for the sale and share what you do, then no one is going to hire you and buy from you. So this is the way to do it in a very authentic, helpful way. So this is you telling them exactly how you help people, your service, your program, whatever that offer is that this funnel was tied to and leading towards. And we just want to keep it focused. Does not have to be long, like I mentioned. What is it? Who's it for? What does it get them? How do they take the next step? And then you're going to link to the service page for that offer or service, and link to book a call as well. Or if applying is the next thing, then link to that instead. And I would also, if you want and have space for it, you could share a brief client result or a transformation or a quote from a client. Don't include a really long, big paragraph. Just a sentence or two makes it feel more concrete and connect back to the people that you have already helped with this. So the job of this offer or this email is to really plant the seed for your services. Not everyone is going to be ready. That's fine. But now they know what you do and that there's a path to begin working with you, and they know what that path is when they are ready. So then in email 5, we are going to be sharing a little case study and the delay on that one also from email 3 basically forward, you can have the delays be a couple days. That other one was like 2 to 3 days. I would say you could have another delay of 3 days on this one. And then for email 5, you can have another delay of 3 to 4 days. So overall, especially if you're skipping weekends, this is going to be about a 2-week email sequence that people are going to go through. So email 5, we are going to be sharing that testimonial and just a final soft second invite to work with you. So this is building trust. The purpose of this and what we're doing here is to build trust and handle objections through real client stories. So we're just showing people now what's possible, and we're inspiring them by sharing the journey of someone who was in their shoes. So this can still be considered a value-based email because you are talking about what someone was struggling with before, what was the problem for them, what changed, what you worked on, and now what's their reality? What is the transformation? What is their end result now? So that is still valuable because people are trying to figure out what is wrong with them, what is the cause of whatever they're struggling with, and they are looking to see how other people have navigated it and to know if it's possible for them to actually get through it. And how does that work? What does that look like? What work is involved in all of that? So this is educational as well as, of course, doing a soft pitch again for your services. So I think it's good to think of this as not necessarily a push on your offer as much. It can be, and the testimonial can still be talking about working with you and how great your program or services, your counseling work is and all of that. But I would lean on also just telling a story, and you can anonymize it. You can use someone's different name. You don't need to, you can change little key details and things like that. So you don't have to feel like you're breaking any kind of confidentiality by sharing this, but it is helpful to share a little bit about someone that was struggling and it's a case study. So it's a beneficial email in that way. And then you're going to have this just low-key reminder that the door is still open. Here's how to take the next step to work with you when they're ready. So we don't have any urgency. We don't have any pressure. We're not saying you have to book by this date, all of those kinds of things. It's really just a warm, I'm here, my calendar's open, ready when you are. And so the job of this email can be to convert the fence sitters. If there is someone who got your prior email and they are actually thinking about it, this is helping people actually move forward. Some people need a couple days to sit with something. And so this is the email that can make them move forward. But for everyone else, you are just sharing an uplifting story with them, and you're showing that you're here when they are ready. You can, if you want, at the end of this, say, you'll continue hearing from me and you'll continue getting like helpful resources from me each week. That's sometimes to just signal that, okay, we're leaving the sequence. We are going to just return to our regular programming and all of that. But you don't have to do that either, especially if you're keeping these fairly neutral and it is not a sales sequence. So it can feel very natural anyway that this is going to blend very nicely with your regular email content, because that's what happens after this. So after this sequence ends, everyone then rolls into your regular email cadence, whether that is a weekly email or a bi-weekly email, and you are sharing different resources, tips, articles, all of those kinds of things on a regular basis. So the relationship is not stopping after this. It's just that the sequence is ending, and then people will continue to get emails from you. And those emails should always have links to your website and your services or to book a call with you. So we still always want to have that in all of those emails as well. Okay, so that is your welcome sequence. 5 emails delivered over about 2 weeks. It's completely automated. It is running in the background for every single person who downloads your freebie from here on out. So if you set this up this week, that means that every new subscriber that you get from this point forward gets a proper welcome. So I definitely recommend spending the time to do this. You only have to do it once, and then it's there, and you can always just tweak it and modify it as time goes on, but then it's always running. And that way you can feel like, okay, I'm sending people to my lead magnet, and I know that there's a system that is also now working behind the scenes and doing a really great job of introducing me to folks. And you might start seeing some more discovery calls coming on your calendar just by putting this in place if you didn't have it in place before. So I hope this was helpful. But if you would rather have someone just do all of this for you, including writing all of these emails for you and setting them up with the delays and all of that kind of stuff, but as well setting up the opt-in page, having ads driving people to the funnel as well, remember that offer that I mentioned at the start. So we have 6 spots available for the Done For You funnel service that we are rolling out. We have 6 spots at that intro price of $12.97. So you can go to whitneybateson.com/DFY funnel to grab your spot right now, or to book a call if you would like to chat with me about it first. Now, the next episode in the series, we are not done yet. There's a little bit more to cover, not too much. We are over the hump. But this next one is really important. It is how to tell if your funnel is working and where to look to figure out what to fix, and some tips about what you should be fixing and how to do it. So if you are not already, make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast, The Growth Show, so that you don't miss that next episode. And I will see you in the next episode in part 5.